I just book over for Straight Circle Martial Arts, and this is how not to fear people with big muscles. Understanding strength, you have to understand it differently. There's two types of strengths. There's guys who lift and get really big, and they're strong lifting things and throwing things, but their punching isn't as strong as you think, because punching's more like pitching. If you watch a pitcher in the major leagues, a lot of times those guys are skinny and wiry and snappy, and when you punch, it's the same idea. It's just a whip. What makes weightlifters and big guys dangerous when they punch isn't technique or form. It's just the sheer mass of it. You know, you get a guy who's 250, and even if he's sloppy, if he just drops his whole body on you, yeah, he's going to put a lot of hurt on you. So, you know, it's kind of the fast way to punching, but it's not an efficient way. But what people fear is not only being hit, but being grabbed. And it's because when you're my size, you have to understand that you have to do things differently. You cannot play the game of someone who weighs 120 pounds more than you and his shoulders out to here the way they do it. I tried when I was younger. It was a bad choice. You know, big, strong guys picked me up and smashed me on the ground. It was just stupidity. So what helps you be less afraid. Now, when I say less afraid, I don't mean not respectful. Big guys are strong and fast and aggressive, and they can pick you up and put you down and throw you around like an idiot really quick. Don't underestimate size. But size can be countered. You just have to know how to do it. And so you have to treat it like you're grabbing a snake, right? You can grab that snake, but you don't want to get sloppy because when it bites you, it hurts. So big guys, strong, but not efficient, and they tire quickly. So at my size, I use my body differently. Like, I'm sure you guys have all seen this trick where, like, you go like this, right? And he puts his arm on my arm, and he pulls down, right? Now, hard. Like, he's trying to bend me, but he can't. Now watch. You notice I'm not tensing anything else. I'm just very comfortable, and the harder he pulls, the funnier it is, and the more I can move him, and that's okay. At my size, you have to understand the difference between mass and ligament tendon strength. Mass is a contraction. When you watch guys lift, they squeeze and they pull into themselves, right? And so when they grab people, they squeeze and they pull in because that's what they use. When you're using ligaments and tendons, it's the opposite. You want to expand. So suppose he's grabbing me like this, right? And he grabs hard. If I add expansion like this into my joints, and I just feel a little tension at the tips, I can actually hold him there for a fraction, not all day, but a fraction of a second that allows me to move and go into something else. So if he comes in and I prop him, he walks in, right, and he's trying, see how, like, I can prop him on some level because there's enough here where he can't walk through it. So when you do traditional martial arts, you learn a lot of things that you don't know what they're there for. You know, when you learn something like this, it's all taught that that's a fan hook block, which is stupid. Because if he punched in my face and I went like this, you know, I would lose my teeth. So it's not what that is for the most part. But what this does is when it comes in by flexing this down like this and opening those fingers, as this gives you a stability in this elbow. So as it comes in, right, there's like a lock there almost. And the beauty of this is when you contract, what happens is your whole body tenses because it has to. But when I expand, like, only the parts I need to tense, and everything else can relax. If he's like this, right, and he's putting weight on me, look, I can hold his weight like this all day and maintain stability. But I also have enough relaxation to where I can move him because I'm just holding him at the points. So what you have to understand when you're smaller is you don't fight with contraction and muscle. You fight with expansion, right? If I want to come through him, there's a good example. So, like, if I go like this, which is what most people do, right? And they go like this, and he resists me, and I try to push. I can't push him because there's too much resistance there. And I have no support from here to here. It's just going to go like this. But if I take my hand, I open it like this. I straighten it. And I use that expansion and open up into it. It's a world of different strength. It's not the same as muscle strength, but it's enough to move people where you need them to go. So you almost have to relearn your body to do this properly. We all want to resist. We all want to strength. We're in a weightlifting society, right? We like to be pretty, go to the gym and look like this. But that's not martial arts strength. That's muscle strength, which is fine. Again, you can win being a meathead. But if you're going to really learn martial arts, you got to learn how to relearn the body. So when you're doing things like this, say he grabs me, right? I don't want to resist him with muscle. I don't want to pull him in strength. What I want to do is I want to create angles. I have two options here, realistically. I can just escape, which is the easiest thing to do, right? But suppose I want to control it a little bit. If I learn how to, watch the fingers, you see the opening and my hips. So what I did was I locked myself at one point to connect me to hip. But I kept the rest of the body very relaxed so I can move it and transfer my weight. When you learn how to control your body in such a way, you become less afraid of bigger people. Now, here's the deal. I don't have one here, meathead today, unfortunately. But what you have to do is you have to experiment with this. You have to get someone bigger and let them kind of grab you and throw you around and play with, hey, can they squeeze me? Like, I got two nephews that are big, right? And I let them do this to me all the time. Grab as hard as you can, squeeze as hard as you can, throw me around as hard as you can. And I just try and put myself in a position to where they can't get a good bite or a good grab, where I could hit them if I wanted to do it. Now, here's the other thing. The difference between me and someone who's really big is a big guy can hold on and kind of squeeze you for long periods of time. When I'm using expansion, this is only going to last so long. Eventually, someone bigger and stronger is going to wear on you and you're going to go down. These things are temporary things. This happens for a fraction of a second, which allows me to get to a position to do something else. Anytime he grabs onto me, I use, see that little position there where I have space? I'm going to use it to get to a position to where I can do something else. It's not like it's not a game where I say, ha ha ha, like I was holding him a minute ago, and you hold the attacker for 10 minutes. This is not how it works. All this does is gives you a fraction of a second to hit him. And here's the reality too. The other thing that gives you confidence is you have to know how to fight in a way that puts people down. You take a big muscle head and you're punching him in the chest, you're punching him in the body, you're just wasting your time. Right? But he grabs you really hard and I come in, I hit him in the groin, I don't care how big you are. Right? I hit him in the ear, I don't care how big you are. I poke him in the eye, I don't care how big you are. Hit him, right? Hit him in the neck. You know, I'm going to get a reaction out of that. So smaller guys have to fight like they mean it. There's a reason there are weight classes in fighting. You know, I'm not going to sit here and wrestle with a 280-pound guy all day. He's going to take me out. What happens is you learn to use the body in a new way. He grabs to where, like, I don't resist him, but I use enough tension in the elbows and the ligaments and tendons to put myself in a good position to where I can come in right away to start hurting him. And then I have to start hurting him. I mean hurt him. This isn't like, well, I'm going to take you like this, and now we're going to go like this, and you've been mean, and please stop. No, dude, I mean, someone's really big and strong. You let go, they come back and they get you again. I mean, you got to put it down. What I'm recommending is many of us have spent years doing things that we have no idea why we do them. Right? You know, you do things that, and when you really understand them and you start seeing them, you find that they're not really meant as strikes a lot of times. A lot of times they're meant to do the dirty inside work. So if he's coming to me and I can prop him, right? I just put weight into his neck. It's not so much that ends the fight. I'm just getting space so I can get into a position to hit him and hurt him again. You know, here's these things. Right in, get space. You see stuff like this in martial arts, right? Where they come in and you have to create space to where you can fight against it. Or get your arms in there. That's all it is. You're getting your arms in, getting space, and you're creating light tension in the points you need it. And just enough to move and continue to fight. So I guess the answer to not being afraid of big people is, number one, you have to have enough faith that you trust your body and you've learned enough things where you use it differently than your average human being. And then number two, you have to start working it with bigger, stronger people and toying around with it to see if you could actually use it against a bigger, stronger person who's coming really hard. So remember, martial arts, long term, is an advanced thing that's meant to teach that you should be able to do your whole life. You could be a meathead and a musclehead to a certain age, but then it starts to fall apart. You start losing strength, your body starts getting injuries from all the heavy, stupid work. You know how many weightlifters I know who just can't stop? And they have shoulders and backs, but they're going to keep pumping, man. But okay, and they're like this, it's fine. But you have to learn correctly how to use your body in such a manner to where it's pliable, but strong and solid. And when they come at you, you don't feel nervous about it because you feel like you have a chance. And then you learn how to put really vicious stuff on them to defend yourself in the middle of that. When you can do that, you'll feel a confidence and you won't be so afraid of people who are large. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notify button to get more weekly videos. Thank you to all subscribers for everything you've done for this channel.